was pretty sure what she was doing was a bad idea. Scratch that. She was positive it was. She rolled down her window and cranked up the car radio, humming along to Sweet Caroline as the miles of highway disappeared under her minivan. She shook her head and laughed despite herself. Sweaty palms? Check. Racing heartbeat? Check. Impending sense of doom and an urge to hightail it back the way she came? Double check. All in all, she could think of more relaxing ways to spend her day off. She could be at the beach right now, kicking back in the morning sunlight, sipping a mimosa and deciding between the maple-glazed donut or the one with rainbow sprinkles. Or, more realistically, chasing after Gracie and Connor as they did their level best to tear the house to shreds, all before their morning bowl of cereal. But still, her eyes skittered toward the manila folder resting on the passenger seat. The edges of a large black and white photograph peeked out from the side. She had buckled the folder in like it was a child. For some reason, that sent a round of strange, wired giggles through her. But that was quickly replaced with another slow roll of nausea. Her mother's words rang through her, what she used to say when Callie was a little girl whenever she was afraid. "All right, Callie girl. Breathe. Just breathe." She took a deep breath and let it out in a slow whoosh. Suddenly, a lurch of hunger smacked into her. That dry fistful of cinnamon toast crunch on her way out the door seemed like ages ago, and was no longer cutting it. With her eyes on the highway, her hand blindly groped around in the center console, sifting through papers, cereal bar wrappers, something damp that she plain just didn't want to identify. Finally, after dunking her hand into a styrofoam cup of old coffee, her fingers found purchase on something. Score, an old chocolate granola bar. Expired, but unopened and probably edible. Beggars couldn't be choosers. She happily took a large bite, bobbing her head as the song switched over to Life is a Highway, and the rock-solid granola bar exploded in her mouth like a handful of dust. She said to no one, wincing as she tried to swallow. At that moment, the check engine light came on. A strange grinding sound emanated from somewhere deep in the minivan. Callie groaned loudly. Of course. "Come on, baby," she whispered to the minivan. Just another hour to Atlanta. She rolled down the window, using her outstretched hand to point left. Yep, her turn signal had broken too, weeks ago. Between her kids and her work as the owner of Sunrise Cafe, she just hadn't gotten around to it, thank you very much. Even when Wes had still been alive, she'd always wondered when people had the time to do stuff like that. Like life stuff. Broken shutters and loose baseboards and, yes, turn signals. Once Gracie and Connor came into their lives, it seemed like they'd always been racing around, morning to night, just trying to stay above water. And now, well, Wes wasn't here anymore, was he? She was doing what she could. And today was a perfect distraction from everything. As she merged into the left lane, she took another large bite of the dusty granola bar for some reason. And then, blue and red flashing lights immediately filled her rearview mirror, followed by the chirping of a police car siren. "You've got to be kidding me." As she pulled over to the shoulder, she focused all her effort on swallowing the fresh mouthful of dust. She quickly shoved all the loose papers and wrappers and cups into the center compartment. Boy, that thing was full. And eyed the manila folder, tucked in all cozy in its spot. She thought about hiding it, but the officer was already approaching her car, and that didn't seem too smart. "License and registration, please," he said, staring down at her over aviator sunglasses. She rifled through the glove compartment, fairly certain she hadn't put in the new car registration. Had she even remembered to renew it? A few moments later, she handed him a small stack of papers she hoped would cover it, along with her license, hoping he wouldn't ask her to talk. What was this thing made of, anyway? Drywall? He peered down at her, frowning. "You okay, miss?" Callie smiled and nodded, but he kept staring. She sighed and said, "I'm okay." Well, she'd tried to say that. What she really